Saluton and welcome to the Markov's Gallery for December 2022. We're probably just going to get this out in about the right time, I reckon.
Well, just before January ends.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, we're like Doctor Who, never quite where we expected to be.
Yeah, we're always close, but never on time.
I was about to do a whole in one, like Bullseye. So this is one of yours, isn't it?
Yes, so it's Manaba the Oathkeeper by Michael Johnson of Warhost fame. He has a YouTube channel. I picked this one because it's only just a work in progress, but I love the work on the feathers. I think it's really, really nice work. I mean, everything else is really good, but the feathers just look so realistic to me. I had to pick it.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's the shading on it is really subtle, and it just totally looks real feathers. I mean, when you're painting the feathers on this particular group of models, some people go for vivid colours and otherwise, but realistic like this, I think, is actually harder to do. I really do think that. The skin tones are lovely. I know Michael's had some comment that he's not quite happy with the skin tones, he says, but I think that looks really, really good. The natural look of the weapon, just a really natural looking model. It's everything you'd expect from the Warrior Nation.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so here's Juan Ponce de Leon. I picked this one. What drew me into it, Sebastian's model, as you can see, what really drew me into it was the way he's done the face. Most models of Ponce they keep him youthful, like the box art. His beard and moustache are luxurious, black, and so on. Sebastian's gone different and given him a grey beard, along with the lines he's picked out from the face with the shading. What gives him a seasoned veteran look, which is, to be honest, by the time he's even found the Watcher base / Fountain of Youth at that time, he would have been older. And he just gives him this absolute veteran, hard as nails look. I love it. This is not a manured cross. There's a stare there that would crack stone. On top of that, we've got this lovely red of his clothes, which looks sort of worn.
Yeah.
There's the highlights sort of make it look a little fake, like he's been wearing it. We've got the beautiful brasswork of his cuirass, his breastplate, along with the cogs and so on that's been put on it. And he's really picked out the weapon as well, so it both looks ancient as it would have been, and you can see the upgrades he's put onto it to make it modern. I really, really like this, and he's done the rest of most of the rest of the posse, I think, at this point by now, all in the same style, colours, and they just look really stunning. They really do stand out, and a different take, because a lot of time it's reds and blues and really gaudy, but this looks much more, again, realistic.
Yeah, it's like you say, it's now sort of mid to end January, so we've seen the rest of the stuff that is posted up that's painted in the same scheme, and it's really, really nice. And the red and gold always goes really well together, and the boots and the armor, it just all works so well. And like you say, that grizzled grey veteran sort of look really works for him. It's such a simple change, but it makes a hell of a lot of difference to the model. The Quantrill Raiders by Peter. I believe that flag is freehand for a start off, and that's just
whoa,
like, that's insane. It might be a decal. It didn't actually say it, or I don't remember reading on the post whether or not it was a decal, but I believe it's freehand. And I really love the new Iron Horse models. They're so cool now they've not got the little sled bits on the bottom, and I think this is just a really great paint job. It's quite subtle, but I just think it works really well.
Yeah, I really like. I must admit, the standard is the standout of it as well. We've got the natural leather looks of the capes and the hats. They're looking a bit worn, as you would imagine. They're fighting a guerrilla war in the way they have been for a while. The blue's that's been used on the nearest model to us really do make it stand out, especially against the other two. Possibly liberated from the Union and repurposed. Who knows? But they're really good.
Yep. Really good. And I'm glad to see the Raiders painted, because I haven't seen many of the Quantrill's Raiders painted, which I was quite surprised by, to be honest. But
yeah, it was a very sought after set, and it was one of the ones that people kept asking about when we get Quantrill. And now I've got them. I imagine a fair few Outlaw players have got them, just haven't got around to painting them just yet. Yeah. Okay, and as we like Iron Horses so much, Cohen's James Earp. This is my pick. He's done all three of them, but I picked James, the standout one from these. Why do I like James? Well, I like the idea of a character, an automata that actually thinks it's a deceased person and behaves as such, wearing the original's hat. But what I really like about the paint job is the glow effects. Cohen's really good at these, we know that already, but there's some lovely glow effects on the exhaust and in the engine parts at the front, and also how he's done the headlamp there. It's not glow effect as such, but he's managed to get the highlight of it in all three of the very, very small bits of the headlamp painted into it. Actually looks like a single piece of glass with the bands over it. Really lovely. Edge highlights on here. I mean, it's just a masterclass as ever from him. And also that beautiful white coat just billowing out behind James like that. Obviously that's the model, but getting a good white to stand out like that, which beautifully matches the star on his chest and hat. It's a lovely, lovely looking model, and beautiful base work again. You can hardly see the flying stand.
No, it is really good, and I like the fact that it's not your standard sort of gunmetal colour for the Iron Horse cowcatcher. It's in black with the edge highlighting, and the base works really, really nice as well. And like you say, it hides that stand just a little better, and all the glow effects are fantastic. It's just a really great version of James. And again, I'm surprised we've not seen more of the Earps so far painted, but this is definitely like high quality.
I've got mine still to paint. I've learned some hard lessons from trying to paint my Enlightened Iron Horse. Like, I really should not have glued them into position first. I have to break them off before I paint them, because you just really cannot get in with a paintbrush if they're glued into position. But I'm hoping it won't be that good, but I'm hoping to do a decent job of mine when I get around to painting them. Some Dystopian Wars.
Yep. So Mark's Protector Battlefleet. I picked this again for a similar reason I picked something last month. It was a colour scheme that I would never have thought of. The gold and greens just really work. Most people have gone for the reds because it's Canadian, so red seems like the obvious colour choice for it. But yeah, the green and gold just really, really makes it pop, and a nice little red maple leaf on the deck of the Protector.
Very foresty. That's the first thing I thought when I saw it. It looks naturalistic, and obviously Canada's covered in forest, so why not? Also, from a purely tactical point of view, under the sea, that would be a colour that does blend. It wouldn't stand out too much. Also, the detection methods in the Dystopian age not quite as good as our own, so visual is still important. Love the deck colour. That is a really nice wood. It's not too... Doing pale wood is I found it quite difficult. Whenever I do it, it's either too pale, or I go too far the other way and I end up with dark oak again. But that is a nice deck colour, not quite pine, but really, really, and just lovely work on the edges. You can actually see all the edges of the planks and so on. It's a lovely metallic they've got in there, and the gold. Yeah,
really, really good.
Brilliant. I picked this one because it is a lovely example of a Ning Jing. They're one of the more intricate models. In terms of details, the Chinese fleets are extremely intricate. There's lots of little bits you've got to paint. the little, I'm not sure what the right word for them is, those circular things just behind the bridge on the smokestacks there, the guns, the bracings, and of course all the roof tiles and so on. And I just thought, I really like how they've done this. It's the classic colour scheme. It's jade green with red highlights and some gold in there as well. But I think this is a really nice example of a Ning Jing.
Yeah, it is really, and it's really clean line work as well. It's all very vibrant without being too much. It works perfectly. Like you say, it's very traditional colours, but there's a reason the traditional stuff works. Is because it's worked for hundreds of years. So,
yeah. I've just realised this is a Yangtze, not a Ning Jing, because he's got the 3 cannons on. Yeah.
Oh well. It's close to it.
It's a Yangtze. It's a Yangtze. Sorry, Andrew. It's a Yangtze. But yeah, it's a really nice fleet.
Yep.
Oh, look at that.
Yep.
That is stunning.
Yep. Bartek's colour scheme is just incredible. Like the red highlight spots work perfectly against the sort of pale blues. The whole thing just, it really, really works. Like, I'd love to see some of the big battleships in that colour scheme, which I'm sure at some point we will, but it just, and the dark metals as opposed to like the lighter metals, like the dark, weird looking sort of coppery colour.
The pipe working, yeah. It's a dusk fleet. Dusk was the first word that it leapt out to me. And the glow, you'd see these late at night as just the sun's really getting low in the sky, just peeping above the horizon. You see these sail past you, probably silently, scare the crap out of people. This would. Oh, it's brilliant.
Yeah,
really absolutely wonderful. Right then, moving on. So well done.
It's another really, really simple colour scheme that just works so well. Like the red and the slightly more grey blue. It works, and the same with the pipe work behind the bridge. Sort of like a tainted gold sort of colour. Really, really nice colour scheme, and it's all really well weathered as well. Is something that when you look at it closer, you can see the weathering around the edges and on the waterline.
Yes. What impressed me with this one is the fine brushwork, picking out the little highlights on the glass eye windows of the bridge. They're tiny. The tiny work inside of the turrets. There's a definite highlight going towards the middle there, and you can see the bracings. Very, very fine brushwork. And just to cap it all off, he's actually managed to write a word. I can't quite read what the word is, but he's managed that must be the tiniest thing to have written. Well, what does that say? I'll get right close up there. I can't read it. I think I'm not sure that's English. Salia. I can't read it.
No idea.
That's tiny. It's tiny, but it's brilliant.
Yep. Yeah, it's a nice little detail.
Yeah, and a non-standard generator on the back of it as well. That's is it the Chaos Orb? No, I can't remember which generator that is. But there's just something different on the back, and they've given it a nice shine to it as well. Again, there's a sort of red glow, but you can see it looks silvery, like it's been worn and it's aged a little bit on the back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah, really, really nice.
Tacticus Cruiser by Oliver. Thank you very much. The Table by Pavel. That's a lot going on that table. That's a lot, and it's lovely. So many little trees put on there. We've got the buildings going on. I mean, that's a nice piece of scenery. We've got his little gondola balloon in the background there as well, which I think he posted a little while later, which is just brilliant. A nice looking piece of scenery here that would grace any table really well.
Yeah, lots of really nice greenery, which is something you don't see a lot of on small terrain pieces, but I think it really makes it work. Like once it's fully completed and painted properly with the tower pillboxes and things, it's just going to make it stand out even more. And it's something I think there should be more of the islands that we do, because not all the islands are just sand or rock or stuff like that.
We've got pretty desolate islands most of the time, but this brings it to life.
Yeah.
Do you know what it reminds me of? Man with the Golden Gun, the islands around Scaramanga's Island. It's somewhere in South China Seas where they filmed it. Lots of little islandets with trees all over them.
Yep.
And something very interesting shapes. It sort of gives me that vibe to it. I quite like that.
Yep, totally see that. Reminds me slightly of The Incredibles.
Yes, the little tropical islands.
Yep.
Okay, so that's Markov's gallery for
December 2022. Lots of really nice pieces this month, or last month, should I say. We will be recording January's after January's finished, so it won't be coming until February. Hopefully we'll be more on track with that. Keep your eyes peeled for a message from myself or Sam, because we don't want to post these videos without asking your permission to post them first. So keep your eyes on your message request folder.
Yeah, we'll always ask permission before we put them on here. We just want to celebrate your hard work, really.
Yep.
Okay, so that's Markov's gallery for December. Thank you for watching.
Yep, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Happy trails, pilgrims.